So let's talk about Marc Jacobs. Right now, we are in the middle of Fashion Month, and last week in New York, Marc Jacobs sent his models down the runway in his spring 2017 garments and multicolored locks. There were a handful of black models in the show, and actually, the show was pretty diverse by fashion standards. Still, people were not having it. Folks charged him with cultural appropriation, and Jacobs made the fatal mistake of clapping back loud and wrong. In response to comments on his Instagram, here's what he wrote. "All who cry cultural appropriation or whatever nonsense about any race or skin color wearing their hair in any particular style or manner. Funny how you don't criticize women of color for straightening their hair. I respect and am inspired by people and how they look. I don't see color or race. I see people." Honestly, sir, that's where you fucked up. 1. Black women get criticized for every damn thing, including when we choose to straighten our hair. 2. That's not relevant. That is not relevant to the cultural appropriation conversation. What Marc Jacobs was trying to do right there was some classic white nonsense. He was looking to evade the genuine, legitimate criticism by deflecting the scrutiny onto black women. So for Marc Jacobs and anybody else who thinks that us straightening our hair is akin to cultural appropriation, let's get some things straight. There are plenty of reasons why a black woman might choose to straighten her hair. Since the slave trade, African features and bodies have been denigrated in order to maintain white supremacy. Black women learned to be ashamed of our hair. While enslaved, we were often forced to cover it because white folks deemed it unsightly. Since then, we've been conditioned by virtue of living in a white supremacist society and with the help of mass media images to abhor our hair texture. Words like kinky and nappy are used as pejoratives to signal that our natural features are unfeminine and not beautiful. And when you recognize that beauty confers societal advantages, and you understand that beauty is linked to whiteness, you might look to mimic white aesthetics. But even reducing a black woman's choice to straighten her hair down to a desire for whiteness oversimplifies the issue. For many black women, choosing to straighten your hair is absolutely about survival. Life is hard for black women. We do what we can to try to make it less so. Black women still face personal and professional discrimination for wearing their natural hair texture. Just last month, teenagers at an all-girls school in South Africa protested because they were told to straighten their afros. And so many employers still try to say that hair that doesn't lay down perfectly flat is not appropriate. In fact, the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals just ruled that it is legal for a company in Mobile, Alabama not to hire a woman because she has locks. So yeah, we might choose to practice what scholar Noliwe Rooks calls the politics of acceptance, knowing that wearing your hair a certain way allows you entree into certain spaces. Not to mention that a lot of black women just find straight hair easier to manage. Or maybe they don't want to be subject to the personal invasions that having natural hair seems to invite, the touches and the comments and the questions. Black women choosing to straighten our hair is not the same as white people wearing locks, because straight hair is not a part of white people's cultural identity. And the same is not true for black hair. Johnson and Bankhead explain it like this. Throughout the ages, from the ancient Nile Valley civilizations to the movement west and the establishment of Western African empires, hair has maintained a spiritual, social, cultural, and aesthetic significance in the lives of African people. Cultural appropriation conversations have picked up steam because black folks are fed up. Not only are we tired of being attacked, maimed, harassed, and killed, but we're tired of being stolen from. Everything black folks have, we've had to fight to build and maintain. That includes our cultural identities. And honestly, if it hadn't been for that piss poor comeback, I might have been okay with it. This would have been just a little blip on the radar if he could have just kept his Instagram fingers to himself. But don't you dare try to pathologize blackness with no understanding of our history or our current struggle, and then turn around and try to use black hair for your personal gain. At the very least, you need to have some humility about the culture that you're exploring. And don't even fix your mouth to start talking out of turn about an experience that you don't know. Really, Marc Jacobs. Really. Get yourself together.